Hello, everybody. Welcome to this presentation on transition to college and the CEO process. This is intended for applicants who are joining the university in 2021, but it equally has some material here for people who are hoping to join the university at some stage in the future. My name is John McGinnity, Admissions Officer, Assistant Registrar at the university, and together with a group of colleagues, we're responsible for the admission of all the undergraduate students to the university, approximately 3,500 per year. So the topics in this presentation are why go to college, the benefits of college, the differences that take place between school and college and university, the importance about research, pathways to college we'll explain, and then importantly we'll go through the CEO process and the golden rules that take place. The Q&A, we are always available in terms of email or web chat, so if you have any questions on this presentation, please don't hesitate to contact us. So one of the important things about college is the opportunity to study an area that you have a real interest in. You may be taking 6 or 7 different subjects at school, but at college you can take the one subject or perhaps 2 subjects if it's interdisciplinary that you feel these are the right subjects that you want to take. College will also give you opportunities to work over the summer and also travel abroad and take part in study abroad experiences either within the EU or outside the EU. And at Maynooth University, we've over 150 partner universities all over the world that you can join. One of the aspects about college and going on to college is that you're able to then look forward to increased earnings from the benefits that will accrue from your college education. It's estimated that there's about a 15% premium for each year that you study in college. But as importantly as that, the whole aspect of self-confidence and self-assuredness that arise from a college education, because you're likely to be working in areas that you're much more job satisfied in. There's quite a number of changes that take place between school and college. So for instance, your class size might be 30 students, but that could increase to 200 or 300 in an actual lecture. The institution that you're in terms of school, the average size in the country is about 450 students. But at Maynooth University, we've over 14,000 students here each day. In terms of the timetable, at school it's finishing up at 4 o'clock, but in college it generally goes on from 9 o'clock until 6 o'clock, albeit that the number of hours in school is 32 hours per week. At college, in many courses, it's somewhere between 15 and 25 hours. There's a change in language and terminology, so you'll hear things like modules and semesters, but all of this will be explained at orientation. And in terms of assessment, what happens in the Leaving Cert is you are assessed after 2 years of study. In college, what happens normally is there's 12 weeks of teaching. You're assessed on that material. There's continuous assessment as part of that module, and then you move on to new material. So it's a much nicer way to study and be assessed. There's a significant amount of independence where you're deciding the modules you wish to take, the subjects you want to take, and there's a lot of flexibility in how you construct your degree by combining different subjects in different measures. So one of the most important things is research, and we would encourage you to make sure to avail of all the research and do this in conjunction with the studies that you're undertaking. So aspects like open days and college prospectuses, talking to your guidance counselor and teachers and parents, speaking to current students and graduates and people who are actually doing that job. Here at Maynooth, we have an MU Ask a Student, so you're actually able to make contact with a student who might be studying in the area that you're interested in. The other thing is to actually drill down and look at the course material, look at the subjects in each year, the modules in each year. And at Maynooth, we've got Maynooth Course Finder, which give you all of those details. There are other websites that are also very helpful. Student Final Study for information on grants and the Access College for the here and there scholarship. There's also Qualifax and Careers Portal. These are 2 really good course and career databases that you can actually filter down and have a look at the various courses in the various colleges, various points and entry requirements, and have all of that information to hand. So now we're just going to spend a few minutes on the pathways of college and showing you the ladders of progression that are available. So this is the framework of qualification for higher education, primary, secondary and higher education and further education in Ireland. And you can see here it goes up from levels 1 to 10, where level 3 is junior certificate, level 4 and 5 is leaving certificate, And then the CEO looks after one list of 10 choices on level 6 and 7 and one list on level 8. If you really enjoy an area you want to study further for a year, maybe full-time masters, it's level 9. And then for going on beyond that is 4 years full-time for a PhD or 6 years part-time. So there's a whole spectrum of education that's there. You don't have to move up these levels one at a time. A lot of students will skip from Leaving Cert at level 5 up onto a level 8 honours degree program in a university. So this is the actual ladder of progression that's here, and you can see here some students are moving from second level into university, some into institutes of technology, some into the PLC, QQI, FETAC, and many students will move on then from the QQI process PLC into university. At Maynooth University this year we had 350 students, 10% of our intake came from PLC colleges. This is the class of 2020, and it just shows you the number of people who are applying for college, almost 80,000 people this year in 2020. Of those, 42,000 got a place at level 8 and 7,000 at level 6 and 7. So about 50,000 people went on into higher education. Yes, you might say there's a gap then of 30,000, but there's a significant number of students go on to do the PLC route and then reapply for college the following year. In terms of the CEO, it opens each year on the 5th of November, and there is an early discounted application fee of €30 if you apply before 5:15 on the 20th of January. The initial application closes on the 1st of February, and that's the initial process. And there are a set of restricted courses, things like music here at Maynooth, community and youth work, where there is an assessment that takes place in the spring. So you do need to apply for those courses before the 1st of February. But outside of restricted courses, you can add them to your list when the Change of Mind opens, if you wish, from the 5th of May right up until the 1st of July. But the 1st of July is the final date for changes in your CEO, and at 5:15 you have to have all of your courses in place. Please bear in mind that there's a set of requirements to get a place in college, to get an offer. You will need to matriculate, which is a basic academic standard. For many of our courses, we have course requirements. So for instance, if you want to do a science degree here, you have to have a science subject, and then we calculate your points, and then we offer places based on points. Always check the CEO handbook and any miscellaneous changes that are updated on the CEO handbook each year, and those are available on the website, so keep a check out on those. When you apply to the CEO, you'll get an application number, and that will have it's 8 digits. And for those applicants who are applying in 2021, it'll start with the digits 21, and it'll be an 8-digit number. Separately from that, you'll have a Leaving Cert number, which is a 6-digit number, and you'll be getting that from the State Exams Commission. But please keep your CEO application number and your CEO password private because it is your application. This is just a snapshot of the CEO application form for 2021, and you'll be asked for your basic biographical details. You'll also be expected to fill in details regarding country of birth and nationality and any other exams that you've done. Beyond that, then you'll actually be able to set up a password, and this will be the password that you will use to interact with your CEO form and CEO application during the year. This is the important aspect. So having done your research, you're saying to yourself, what's the course that I most want to do in the college I most want to be in? And that becomes your number one choice. If it's a level 8 course on the level 8 list, if it's level 7.6 on the level 7.6 list. So it's based on your genuine order of preference. And then you work down saying, if I just didn't get my first choice, what would be the next choice? And work down from 1 to 10. The CEO fee is the same whether you apply for one course or 20. And so we'd be encouraging you to put a range of courses that you feel you would like to do in college. And sometimes people miss out because they only place a couple of courses on the CEO and then don't get the points that are required. Please bear in mind that the 1st of July is the deadline and you can't make any changes after that. In May each year, the CEO sends you a statement of record. And it's very, very important to check that you have the right courses that you want to apply for in the right order, that you've indicated that you're taking the exams that are required, that you're presenting. If you have any exemptions from the NUI, from the National University of Ireland, that's included in your form. And if there are any errors in your application, please advise the CEO immediately. The point system is set out here, and it goes from H1 for 100 points down to O6 for 12 points. There is a different number of points for each grade that you get. If you get a H6 or better in mathematics in higher, you get an extra 25 points bonus. And what happens is the CEO computer will add the 25 points onto your maths grade. So if you get a H6, you get 46, plus 25 is 71. Please bear in mind, if you get less than 40, then you don't get the maths bonus, but you do get 37 points between 30 and 40 in the honours maths paper. And that's the way the point system works. So the highest points that you can get is 625, and that's based on 6 H1s and 25 points bonus for maths. But bear in mind that the average points across the year is 350 points across the country. What determines points is the number of applicants, the number of places, and the performance of applicants. And so basically it's the combination of those variables that determine the points for a course for any given year. This is the distribution of Leaving Cert points in 2019, and you can see it's a bell curve normally distributed with some people in the lower end, some people in the higher end, and a bunching in the middle. This is the 2020 distribution of grades to the same aspect, and you can see the distribution shifted slightly to the right. When we plot the 2 years together, you can see the differences between 2019 and 2020. We don't know what it's going to be in 2021, and points did rise this year because of the higher points for 2020. If the points stay at that, the points will be very similar, we'd expect, but we can't say. But it might be that the points move back to 2019. Nobody knows at this stage. There are 2 routes to education, to scholarship, to just be aware of. One is called the DARE route, the other is called HERE route. DARE is the disability access route to education. HERE is the higher education access route. And DARE is to take account of people who have a disability and where that disability has impacted on their learning. Similarly, there's a HERE scheme for people who are long-term socioeconomic disadvantaged. And at Maynooth University, you have to have over 300 points to avail of these schemes and be within 60 points off the cutoff. Now bear in mind that we only have a quota of places for each course, and we fill those places based on the next eligible applicants underneath the CEO points, as long as they're within 60 points. So we work down below the CEO cutoff point and fill the places out on merit. In terms of the cost of college, it's about €3,000 per year, and there's a student levy as well here at Maynooth University of €150. Now that can be paid in 2 instalments across the year. There is a SUSI grant scheme as well that would actually pay the student contribution charge for families with household income of less than about €50,000. There are repeat fees, so if you fail the year and have to take the full year again, you have to pay the tuition fee and the student contribution charge. But if you leave us during the year, there's different amounts apply depending on when you leave, and the details are here on the slide. Just in terms of accommodation at Maynooth, we've over 1,200 apartments on campus. And those details are available to you when you actually on the web. So if you want to kind of get details on booking, you can certainly make application to us. And the details, we keep about 50% of our places for students each year, for first years. Moving on to the application summary, please bear in mind there's a strict order of preference. There's also the aspect of the studying all of your preferences carefully. Please make sure the deadlines they're there, and restricted courses, please have those on your CEO application before the 1st of February. Also check the eligibility for all your courses to make sure you're actually presenting the subject and at the right level for the courses that you're taking. So this is an example of a student who's actually applying on the basis of their points for the courses that they've applied for, and they've 445 points. The orange indicates the cutoff points for each of the courses, and when we look across all of the courses here that they're applying for, you can see that they're applying for 10 choices at different variable levels of point requirements. So when we look at the first course, they have points levels below the cutoff point, the same for the second course. And in the case of the third choice, they actually have higher number of preferences, so higher number of points. And then we can move down. You might think that they're going to get offers for other courses where their points are higher than the cutoff points. But what the CEO computer will do, it gives them their third choice, and then it basically removes all of the other choices below that, because the CEO computer has got you the highest choice that you're entitled to, and then everything below is actually deleted. So in terms of the best way to fill out your form, you should be saying what's the course I most want to do and the college I most want to be in, and they should be towards the top of your application. More realistic courses then perhaps in the middle, and some banker courses, so if things didn't go well for you at all, that you've got some banker courses towards the bottom. And this is one approach that you might consider. So just in terms of the CEO golden rules, you can always move up in your application, but never down. So if you're offered your third preference, your second choice, your first choice are still in play, but everything below that is gone. If you get 2 offers in a round, you can only accept 1 offer. So if you get your level 3 offer, your third choice in your level 8 list, and also your third choice in your level 7-6 list, you can only accept 1 of those in each round. Please treat every offer that you get as your last, because although you might think you might get a higher offer, you may not. And then you can't go back later and ask for it back because that offer has gone to somebody else. In terms of random selection, what can happen is not everybody can get those final places. So there might be 50 places on a course, and a course has 45 people on 401 points and above, and maybe 10 people on 400 points. And with only 5 places available, there'll be random selection across those 10 to pick out who's the 5 who get an offer. So although everybody on 400 points have the same academic score, only 5 are actually made an offer. There's a very good website of available places that comes up after round 1, so please check that out. And in the case of appeals and upgrades every year, if there's a situation where you do get an upgrade, we would go back and have a look at what offer you would have got, and then we try and make good on that, and you'd either get the place in that year or the following year. And each year at Maynooth University, we have a number of people who want to defer their place, and you just let us know when you get an offer, and we will be able to engage with you and discuss that with you. So just to finally, to indicate there's a number of presentations, a number of open days that are coming up during the year, and that you can actually have a look and see when those dates are over the coming few months. We also have an MU Ask a Student portal where you can actually interact and contact our students, and it's a really good way of finding out the details here at Maynooth. Each week we have weekly seminars as well where you can check in and ask us any questions and join us for presentations. So that's it for now. Best of luck for the coming year, and please also always know that you are available on the end of a phone, by email or web chat, or on our Student Ask a Student portal to help you make the right decision for you. Best of luck.